Hello, this is Christy Haig, and I'm here today to share with you a trick that you can use when you are shadowing elements or alphas that are overlapping on your layout. I have here a title for a layout that I made using At the Playground by WM Squared. And what I'm going to do is add some shadow to my letters here. So I'm going to go ahead and paste shadow. In Photoshop Elements, you can double click on the little style icon there and adjust your shadow the way you like it, but I already had it set up. So there it is there, and one quick thing that I like to do is to click on one of them, hold the shift key down and click on the other so that I highlight all of the alphas, and then I can right click and paste the layer style onto all of them. So the style that I have picked is a shadow that makes it look like these letters are quite high off the page. I really like realistic shadowing, and this would be the type of shadow that you might have if you used glue dots or something on the back of cardstock alphabet letters in paper scrapbooking. And no problem, they all look great. But let's say I changed my mind about the way I wanted them, and instead I decided I wanted to overlap them like this. Now I start running into some trouble with my shadowing, because if this was realistically done, for example, the O here and the R would both be far off the red background paper like they are, but the R would be sitting quite close to the O, if not directly on top of the O, if they were both the same height off of the page. But the shadow style that I've added here does the same shadow all the way around the element. So here's the trick for how you can alter that to make it look more realistic. First of all, I'm going to do the same thing I did before, which was click on one of the letters, and then using my shift key, click on the all the way at the other end of the row of letters so that I have all 5 letters highlighted here. I'm going to link them by clicking on this chain link icon. And then I am going to duplicate, and I go up to Layer, Duplicate Layers. Now the reason for duplicating is I'm going to play around with one set of these letters and make them look the way I want, but say later on in the process of creating the layout I wanted to alter it just a bit. And what I'm actually going to be doing is merging some of these letters, and then I can't unmerge them later on. So what I'm going to do here is just keep this set, the very first set of my alphabet layers, as a backup. So I'm just going to turn them all off here and just leave them sitting here. You won't be able to see them at all, but they're there so that in case I decide later I want to go back and change the way I do it, I have these ones already here and I don't have to go back and find the letters and re-add them to my layout. So now I have 5 letters here that are still on my layout, and I'm going to go ahead and click on the FX here and alter my shadow. And this is the shadow of my R here, until it looks like it's sitting right on the O. So a very small shadow there. Click OK. Right click on that and copy the layer style. And again, using the shift key, select all of the layers and paste that smaller shadow onto all of them. Now the other thing I like to do is, if you're going to make a realistic shadow, they wouldn't all be exactly the same, because certain cardstock letters might bend up a little bit more than others. So I'm clicking on the O here, and I'm going to adjust that shadow just a tiny bit. And I'll click on the R here and adjust that shadow just a tiny bit, just so that they don't look exactly the same all the way throughout. All right, so now that I have it looking like they are sitting right on top of each other, I'm going to go ahead again and select all 5. And this time when I right click on it, I am going to merge layers. Now the thing you have to know about this, and this is why we have the backup set, once I have merged them, the shadows that are on them are no longer adjustable, and I can't unmerge them later on um, after I've done other things to the layout. Right now, if I don't like it, I could just go undo, but if I've already added a bunch of other things to the layout, I wouldn't be able to undo it. So I have that done. Now I'm going to go ahead and paste the layer style on it again, and this time I'm going to go ahead and add the shadow that makes it look large, lifted up off the layout, kind of like it was on glue dots or foam glue squares or whatever, excuse me, on the layout. And click OK. And there you have it. They are lifted up off the background, but they are close together as if they would be if they were all lifted equally off of the background. Hope you found this useful. Thanks.